Hey there, everyone. It's James McCarty, again from MSUM Campus News, the head producer. Sorry again for wearing my hat. I still have not been able to get a haircut. It's getting a little wild, so we're just going to keep the hat on for today. But thanks for tuning in for this is a little bit of a more unorthodox type of campus news program. We have our producers and then a couple of our different reporters who are going to be giving quick stories that they've kind of came up with out on their own, and we're going to piece them together, trying to give you about a half-hour newscast, kind of showing what everybody's kind of been through the last couple weeks, actually about 2 months. For myself, I have an MSUM alum, Carter Teal. He's going to talk a little bit about how his personal and work life have or have not been affected due to this COVID-19, and then also his thoughts a little bit on how the government has been handling the COVID-19 to this point. So here's Carter's interview. Hopefully you enjoy.
The coronavirus really hasn't affected my life that drastically. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I like to go fishing, and that hasn't really put a stop to that. As far as work goes, I'm still able to work my 40 hours a week. The only thing that it probably does affect is probably going to see movies or go bowling and stuff like that. That's the only thing I really see that has changed in my life, per se. As far as the government handling coronavirus, I do think Trump handled it well, with letting each governor decide what they want to do. But then again, there wasn't really a defined decision that was made. It seems like there wasn't a total lockdown on things. People were still able to move around, and lives weren't really that changed. I mean, I know North Dakota was kind of in a the stay-at-home order. I mean, that really didn't affect the city much. People were still going out and about. I didn't see much change there.
Thank you, Carter, for giving us a little bit of insight on your life for the last 7 or 8 weeks, kind of how your life has and has not been affected, and then your thoughts a little bit on how everything has been handled due to this global pandemic. But now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to meet up with one of our other producers, Marissa. So let's kick it over to her real quick.
Hey everyone, I'm Marissa Shayak. I'm a reporter and producer with MSUM's Campus News. I sat down with my roommate and boyfriend, Noah, to talk to him a little bit about how COVID-19 outbreak has impacted his daily life.
This is MSUM sophomore Noah Welton. He is one of many MSUM students who has been impacted by the COVID-19 outbreak.
It's kind of left me in a weird spot where I'm not working, so that's been a new adjustment, is not working.
Among many closures in North Dakota and Minnesota, the closing of the Moorhead Shields has left Noah without a job.
It's had a significant impact on kind of my outlook on things. And
with no job to go to, restaurants and stores being closed, and classes being moved online, it's been hard for many students like Noah to keep busy.
I've just been in the yard raking and pretty much sitting outside. I sit inside, I'll play video games, things like that, just to kind of keep myself busy if I'm not doing homework.
He's not the only student who is now doing their spring semester online. Most schools in the United States have been fully online since late March, and it's impacting the way students are learning.
I'm not a student that does well with online classes, just in the sense of I do a lot better when I have everything physically in front of me.
Noah says that he hopes to be able to attend classes on campus again during the fall semester.
Because of classes being moved online, many students have had to go back to their hometowns. And that includes reporter Jordan Austin, who is going to give you guys an insight into how his hometown is dealing with the outbreak. For Campus News, I'm Marissa Shayak.
Hey everyone, I'm Jordan, and with all this craziness going on, I've moved back home. Here in my hometown, there's a strong connection to baseball, so I decided to take a look at the impact the community was feeling without watching the town amateur baseball team, the Jordan Brewers, after their state championship season. Welcome to Jordan, Minnesota, a town with a not-so-hidden gem. the Mini-Met.
Well, obviously we have one of the best ballparks in the state of Minnesota. That's pretty much. I don't even need to say anything. We can just show them the field, and it attracts people.
This ballpark plays host to all kinds of teams in town.
High school, the Hubman, it's the home then to the Legion. It's the home to 2 over 35 teams. It's the home to the Jordan Brewers.
The Jordan Brewers, a great group of players from all over town, had a chance to play a special game this year. A rematch of the state championship at Target Field for the annual Town Ball Classic. It was scheduled for the end of May, but is now up in the air.
Though the season may be stopped, the community is the one striking out.
Scott Hollinsworth, a player and manager for the Brewers, told me baseball isn't the only thing he's missing.
The fun part about seeing our fans is they're the kids that come to the game. The kids come play hot box, which you don't see very often anymore, down the hill there. And to tell your kids you can't come to the Mini-Met and play hot box is probably going to be devastating for them.
As manager Jason Chalewski says, it's not just the younger crowd.
Especially older people that always relied on being able to run down to the ballpark and catch a game and just kind of hang out at the ballpark and enjoy watching a baseball game, that aren't able to do that right now. And unfortunately, I don't know that any of us really know how they're feeling, because we just haven't been able to get in touch with them with all the lockdown that's happening.
The one who sees the absence of fans the most might be maintenance worker John Brimehorst.
When you mention Jordan, it's the Mini-Met, right?
Working on the stadium for almost 20 years, the one constant.
A place where people come all the time, they bring their kids. It's a fan-friendly park.
Is the people.
Keep it that way. This is as close as you can get to Fenway Park in Boston, where they still put the numbers up in Fenway Park, and we do the same thing here.
Though the ballpark may be without baseball, the spirit of the Brewer faithful will never leave.
That's all from me here in Jordan. Now we throw it over to John Hayes to see how trails around his area have changed.
Hello, my name is John Hayes and I'm part of MSUM's Campus News. Now that most of us are at a job and stuck at home because of the pandemic, Medicine Lake's Park Trail gives us an opportunity to get out of the house and enjoy some nature.
With the weather starting to warm up and the sun shining, the animals being more active, the Medicine Lake Trail now has been filled with those wanting to get out of their house and enjoy nature. Now, here's an interview I got on my brother's thoughts on how he felt to be out on the park trail.
Feelings on being on the trail are that I really enjoy the weather outside instead of being cooped up in the house. I'm looking at what the clouds are doing, if we got any rain coming in weather-wise, and really how the seasons change from what we came from in March, since we got locked up, and now in mid-May. There's really been a big change in how the trails have looked. And then I really enjoy that. What I do on the trail is bike with my brother John, and we usually do a whole hour bike ride, racing each other and trying to keep up pace with all the other bikers, and really enjoy getting a good sweat in. And on the weekends, there's usually social distancing. People get off to the side and kind of avoid everyone else, but it's more just common courtesy. Everyone have the right mindset of, hey, we got to beat this thing and stay away from each other.
As the stay-at-home order is still in effect here in Minnesota until the 18th of May, I continue to be out on the trail, walking, biking, and even sometimes I take my dog out on the trail.
Now that the park trail is filled with people, let's hope no one gets tired of it. I'm John Hayes, Campus News. Now on to Nora, where she tells us how the Dragon Entertainment Group is still hosting events online for those students stuck at home.
Thanks, John. The Dragon Entertainment Group still found ways to bring students together without actually physically bringing them together during the stay-at-home order. They hosted events such as pet meet and greets, virtual museum tours, trivia nights, a how-to series, and much more.
We all know by now that all MSUM classes have been moved online.
That doesn't mean the entertainment stops here. The group is going to continue its mission of connecting with fellow dragons wherever they are.
To do that, we'll be hosting online events that you can participate in from the comfort of your own home.
So keep an eye on all of our social media for online events, giveaways, and much, 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 much more.
I sat down with event coordinator Allie Moss and graphic designer Kira Sullivan about what they've done for the group thus far.
I coordinated the Pets Meet and Greet on the Dragon Entertainment Group Instagram page, and it was really fun because basically meant that I got to watch people submit a bunch of photos of their pets, which is always really fun.
I was able to help create like some Facebook posts, some Instagram posts, and help coordinate when we were going to post those or create questions for polls.
The Dragon Entertainment Group hopes that their upcoming events for fall can be held in person.
Come to any of our events because they're really fun, and also because we enjoy doing them, and we especially enjoy it when other students enjoy it too.
And now we go to Ty, who tells us all about the struggles Cashwise has been facing. From Campus News, Nora Vitale.
Thank you, Nora. Grocery stores across the world have struggled with the surge of shoppers. I talked to Cashwise to see how they have adapted. In the beginning, it was chaos.
I don't know, I was just a bit shocked at how quickly things flew off the shelf. I could almost liken it to your typical movie apocalypse shelf clearing scene.
The store is doing a lot to ensure that shortages don't occur. However, due to the high volume of people coming in, that is almost an eventuality.
We expected some of them. The toilet paper was the first thing. Hand sanitizer, soap, cleaning products have been really hard to keep in stock. The kind of surprising one is soup, and that's something that isn't going to come back quick. Rice and beans were really quick, too.
This is when employees at Cashwise West Fargo began to see this was going to be around for a while.
They did put up some plastic shielding, so to speak, between the cashier and the customers. But they did start playing over the intercom, like keep 6 feet of distance between you and other people.
We're wiping things down every hour if we can get the chance. Everybody has masks that they're wearing.
The store saw an exponential growth in customers using its online shopping systems, going from 10 to nearly 90 orders per day.
We've been receiving about 8 times the velocity of online orders, so they essentially doubled the amount of storage space we've got to put the groceries that are ready for pickup.
Orders are printed off after being submitted, where shoppers go out to find your items in the store. They pick your items into tote boxes, wait for you to arrive, and begin bringing your items out to you. Grocery stores like this one have suddenly found themselves to be essential. Kirsten and Zach are only 2 of the many thousands of workers who need to come to work to keep our communities from falling apart.
Most of our customers are very appreciative of what we're doing to keep them safe, and they recognize how busy and how hard this has been for everybody.
Cashwise is still open and bringing groceries to people every single day. They're open from the times between 7 in the morning till 10 at night, and the first hour of every day from 7 to 8 in the morning is open for people who are elderly, who are sick, or women who are pregnant, multiple different things like that. Also, we're going to go on to Jacob Ambrose's story now, and he is going to talk to us about a nurse who deals directly with COVID patients, so stay tuned.
Hey everyone, it's producer Jacob Ambrose here, and I have a roommate. Her name is Caitlin Rinke, and she is in a very unique position when it comes to the fight with COVID-19. She's on the front lines of this fight, and I had a chance to sit down and talk with her and get to hear her perspective.
I work as a nursing assistant in the intensive care unit, but I've also been pulled to work at the COVID unit at the Broadway Hospital.
All right, how has the hospital life changed since all this stuff?
It's changed drastically. No more family members are allowed to visit except for end-of-life care or when a baby's born, so it's been quieter in that aspect, not as many family members. It's changed just kind of in our day-to-day, just with PPE. We used to have masks readily available for us to grab and use in different situations, and now they're kind of locked away and we have to document when we take them, when we need a new one. We now have to wear masks 24 while we're working in the hospital, and they have to last so many shifts. And just precautions have changed. Everyone just kind of seems a little on edge. People are working a lot more hours.
What do you what's it like what is it like working with the people who actually have COVID? Is it pretty tough or?
It's pretty tough. All the patients are different. Some are on ventilators, some are just there because they need a little bit of oxygen or they just need a medication.
Can you share the demographics of the people who have COVID at the hospital?
It's like what you hear on the news. Most people, they're older, 60s, 70s, 80s, and younger people are there, but they usually have underlying conditions. But like obesity can count as an underlying condition, and with society today, that's generally a lot of people. So it just depends. But yeah, there's a couple of rare cases where there's no underlying conditions, but usually it's that older generation.
And then what do you think our steps should be going forward? Do you have an opinion on that?
I don't know, it's hard. I think everyone's doing their best to try to tackle this. I don't think there's any easy way or easy right way. We're all going to be able to look back and say what we should have done, but right now everyone's taking it day by day and doing the best they can.
Well, as you just heard from Caitlin, many healthcare workers' lives have changed since the start of COVID-19. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out this very different type of newscast we had to show you with MSUM's Campus News. We hope you have a great day and stay safe.